Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And now time for the end of the month report from our host with Shenanigans statements of the Statesman. And now here is the Statesman of Shenanigans himself, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. This is a very special episode of the show, episode 1781. And this is the 12th edition of Shenanigans Statements of the Statesman, but this is a very special version of it. There'll be two versions of Shenanigans Statements and Statements. One I'm going to do now. The other where I'll be talking about what's happening in October. But the reason why I'm making this special because as of last night, the matriarch of the church that I've been going to since 1984, a woman of God who made a humongous impact in me and my father's lives, to the point where we've extended from a duo into a family. That woman of God is none other than Reverend Beverly Rezendes. After a year-long battle with cancer, she passed away, went home to be with the Lord at 10 o'clock last night. A lot of people saying why you are talking about this. Because Reverend Beverly Rezendes was the church's matriarch. Married, so to speak, she and her husband, Pastor Antonio Rezendes, founded our church back in 1984. Me and my dad used to attend Bible studies they're involved in, and they decided to open up a church, and me and my dad decided to attend. Now, many people wondering, well, what part did Rev Bev play in your life? What impact did she make on your life? Well, it's simple. She's who I like to call God's straight shooter. She was bold, outspoken, doesn't mince words. Doesn't mince words. And not only that, however, she don't play around. When it comes to preaching the Word of God, she's no nonsense. She speaks facts. And she speaks life into our lives. Every time I see Reverend Beverly Rezendes preach in the pulpit, kind of reminds me a lot of Judge Judy, without the gavel and the robe or anything else. Like she's like the spiritual version of Judge Judy, so to speak. When Judge Judy, when you watch her show, when she talks, she's straightforward. She doesn't mince words. She tells it like it is. That's Reverend Beverly Rezendes at our church. And she was probably one of the boldest women of God I've ever come across. When she lets you know that you're not living up to your full potential, she lets you know about it. She gets on your case. If you're not not doing what you're supposed to do in the church. And that's Rev Bev. But she does it out of love, and she cares. She cared about all of us in the church. Every member of the church, past and present, whether it be from the Church New Testament days or the New Seasons Worship Center days. When her and her husband, Apostle Tony, got promoted to apostle, to being apostles, they were the apostolic covering of our church when Pastors Dave and Joanne Lima took over. No relation, by the way. Unless you want to go on Ancestry.com and find out, But anyways, Rev Bev made an impact on my life a couple ways. One, when it comes to appearance, she wants me to, dress better. And I will never forget when she took myself, my mother, my brother and sister out shopping at the Galleria Mall. The Silver City Galleria. I forget which store we stopped at, and she saw a couple of shirts. And I remember, oh, I like this shirt, I like that shirt, She came up with a couple of ideas. After we got home, I started wearing those clothes to church. And I will never forget, we had a church service back in 1991, a Christmas church service back in 1991. And as you know, 1991 was the toughest year for our church because we went to a split at the time. And our Christian schools decided to split as well. And my mother decided to teach music in the Christian school. And she got everybody to sing Christmas carols. She had me play the tambourine because I couldn't sing for a hell of beans. But then after that part was over, after the church service was over, we hopped in our car, or our van. It was a Plymouth Voyager. I think we had Plymouth Voyagers at the time and all that good stuff. Ugly colors with wood paneling on the sides and the doors slide open and, all that. So we're driving on the way home. My mother turned around, looked at me, and she says, Eric, Red Beth would like for you to join the music ministry. I have to be very honest. I was taken aback by that. I was kind of shocked. Really? Me? And I thought about it. But then it harkens me to think about this. It seems that Red Bev saw a gift inside me. And she believes I can use that gift for God. Now, and I thought about it for a while because if I say no, she'll get on my case about it. Knowing Red Bev, she'll probably get on my case about it. But then I thought about it and said, I'd love to do it, but here's my concern. Staring at all those people in the congregation. Staying in front of the congregation. Claiming one certain member of a congregation I have a crush on. I'm not going to mention her name. Most of the people in my church family know who that person is. But might not digress. And another person that concerns me is my father. As you know, my father always wants me to be straight-laced and always trying to make me behave myself. And every time I go out of control, he gets on my case about it. So that was a couple of concerns of mine. But I thought about it again. I realized this gift is used for God, not man. So I looked at my mother and I said, you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. Why not? And most of the times on stage, I would look down, or just nod my head, not look down in shame, just look down trying to focus on the music. And I'm there to help lead praise and worship, lead the people to praise and worship God. That was my goal. That was my goal there, to help the music ministry lead the people into praise and worship. I was honored. Being part of the music ministry was an honor I decided not to take lightly. And the main key for me to stand up there in front of the congregation while playing my tambourine was the advice of one Paul Costa, our bass player at the time. He told me, just focus. I've always considered Paul my Mr. Miyagi. He always told me to focus. I'll never forget that. But I felt, in my heart that Red Bev knows that the gift that I have is God-given. And I decided to use that gift. And I'm very forever grateful to Red Bev for that. I think I personally did not get a chance to thank her for allowing me to be part of the music ministry. Because I have to admit, many times I was afraid of her. But I've always respected and admired her for her boldness, for her straight shooting, and for having that passion for the Lord. I always laugh at the fact when every time Apostle Tony would call her up to the podium and proudly announces to the congregation, "This is my fox," he says. We get it. We laugh at that. We thought we were pretty cute and we get a kick out of that. But in all actuality, I always thought that he would have always been proud of her. He was proud to have a woman like her as his wife. Being married almost 65 years. The patriarch and the matriarch of our church. Our matriarch of our church passed away last night. I will tell you a funny Red Bev story. And it was during my time as a member of the music ministry. We usually practice on Saturday mornings. Everybody, all of us get together, you know. Our family at the time was just 3 of us kids. Myself, Cora, who is now known as Emberly, and Tyler, who now known as Trevor. We all hopped in the car. Dad and Mom would drive us. Dad would work on the church, whatever Red Bev asked him. Dad says, "I'll do it, no problem." While Mom and I went up on stage practicing our music, along with Red Bev and Paul Costa and the others. Also, Cora and Tyler will have their stuff, you know, do whatever. One Saturday morning, one time, this is back in the 90s, mind you. Cora and Tyler were kind of running around, and Red Bev, knowing that the sanctuary is not a playground, and she knows this, and she tells them, "Hey, this church is not a playground. Stop running." Cora, a.k.a. Amberly, accepted that fact. Decided, well, I'll do my thing. But my brother Tyler, a.k.a. Trevor, decided to do one daring thing to Red Bev in response to what Red Bev told him. Now, I did not see it at the time, but I heard. It was none other. My brother decided to stick his tongue out at Reverend Beverly Rezendes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's 3 things you don't do in life when you come to our church. 1, you don't spit in the wind. 2, you don't tug on Superman's cape. And 3, you do not dare disrespect Reverend Beverly Rezendes by sticking your tongue out at her. How did Red Bev respond? She grabbed my brother by the arm, got him outside, and sat him down on the, because we had the church sign at the time, was church. We were Church of New Testament at the time, and she sat Tyler down on the rocks in that sign. My dad was working possibly on the plants and all that, and she looks at him. My dad was kind of shocked, like, what's going on? Red Bev tells Tyler, "You sit there, you don't move until I tell you to." So, to that end, she went back inside. So I was like, "What's going on?" And everybody's like, "What's going on?" Red Bev looked at my mother and says, "Your son stuck his tongue out at me." And she told him what she did. And I stood there in shock. I was like, "He did what?" My own brother. And I'm dumbfounded. I was like, and part of me is ashamed because I'm his older brother. I'm supposed to set the example. And I felt like I failed my brother in that department. I would have warned him, do not stick your tongue out on Red Bev ever again. But I was too busy playing with the bongos. I was with the congas and everything else, and I was focusing on the music. And I was still dumbfounded. I was still shocked. I was like, wow. And I was like, and I said to myself, I will never stick my tongue out on Red Bev, ever. I will not disrespect Reverend Beverly Rezendes, ever. I'd be in big trouble if I did. So, as we're playing, little did we know that clouds were rolling in and started to rain. So my brother was out with my dad. I'm sure my dad gave him a stern talking to. And it started raining. My dad goes, Tyler, come on in. It started to rain. Tyler goes, no. Red Bev told me to sit out here and not move until she tells me to. So my dad, knowing that if Red Bev actually literally told you, my brother actually literally listened to her, I think he was scared. He was afraid of her at the time. However, so my dad had the respect to go inside and tell Red Bev, hey, it's raining outside. Tyler's sitting out there. He says he's not moving until you tell him to. She goes, oh my gosh. Runs out there. Tells her, come on in, Tyler. My brother learned his lesson that day. Or did he? I don't know. But I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. I was still stunned. And I kind of looked at my brother on the way home. I said, dude, I cannot believe you would stick your tongue out on Red Bev. You don't do that. I was still stunned to this day, I'm still stunned he did that. But my memory of Red Bev is when she saw the gift I have when I played that tambourine. She looks at my mother because I want him in the music ministry. And I joined in 92. Despite the pandemic, I always consider myself a member of the music ministry. And hopefully we'll get back up there one day and play. But I always, she always says hi to me. She asks me how the Patriots are doing or something like that, like Apostle Tony. And I'll miss that. Red Bev always, carries on small talk and conversations. Always respectful. I've always been respectful of her, and I've always admired her for her boldness and, the relationship that her and Apostle Tony had was phenomenal. 65 years, man, marriage. They've been together since they were teenagers, and that shows me, this is what happens when you have a God-centered marriage. A lot of Hollywood celebrity marriages don't even last that long, but 65 years, Apostle Tony and Reverend Beverly Red Bev were blessed. And I know that Reverend Beverly Rezendes will be missed wholeheartedly. And she's made an impact not just on me and my family's lives, but the lives of most of the families in our church, past and present. And not only that, members of other churches. And a lot of people are going to miss her. A lot of people refer to her as Mama Bev. And I got to tell you, that's how much of an impact, it's talking about extended family. From the Davises to Israel Kim. And I'm sure Red Bev is up there in heaven right now, bursting through the gates. Even St. Peter probably looking going, the heck? What is that whirlwind coming in? Getting it, waiting to meet the Lord. Not only that, probably gathering some of our old friends that are up there already. Chuck Clayton, Apostle Chuck Clayton, Pat Correa, her mother, Lucy Grants Fournier, Mark Supernaut, Luann Stemper. Let's find Carmen. Let's get a concert going. I can imagine what's going on in heaven right now with Red Bev up there. But I want to send my condolences to Apostle Tony. I know Apostle Tony, you always called her your fox, but now she's your angel, and I know she's going to watch over you with God by her side. She's going to be with you in here, and I know it. To Lisa Marie and Matt, her two children, I know them very well. Lisa Marie, she's instilled you a lot of wisdom, a lot of love. And you become a wife to Jean, and a mother as well. My condolences to you, and to Matt. Matt, my old friend, I miss you, buddy. It'll be great to see you again, and Randy as well. And to catch you guys up on what I've been up to. I'm hoping to see you again. And you are missed, but you are missed in the church, by the way. But still, Matt, my condolences to you. I know you always made jokes about your mom sometimes, and all in good, and your mother took it in stride. But sometimes you probably got in hot water. But your mom did love you. And to all those who have been related to Rev Bev in any way, shape, or form, my condolences to you all. To my church family, past and present, Rev Bev loved all of us. We'll see her again soon. Rev Bev, I know you're up there in heaven right now, and I know you're watching over us and with the Lord by your side. And I pray that once we see you again soon, we'll praise and worship with you. We love you, Rev Bev. And Rev Bev, thank you for believing in my potential, in my gifts for God as a member of the music ministry. I'm very honored that you wanted me to be part of that music ministry. And I decided, and I'm glad I made that decision to join up. You'll be missed, Rev Bev. Rest in peace. That's it for now. You guys have a very blessed day. God bless you all. That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, door for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.